Hey up YouTube, just recorded a lovely long intro. It was too long anyway, but the phone freaked out and has lost it. So let's go over it again. Back down on the plot, finally got some nice clear weather. Still a little bit windy, so I apologise for any wind noise when we get out there. What I'm hopefully going to cover in this week's video, or what I'm hopefully going to do at least in this week's video, we're going to have a bit of a time lapse whilst tidying up the strawberries between me and the girls. We need to capture a load of runners. I've got both girls with me today. I know a lot of you like watching the me and the girls working together on the plot. Seems to be very popular, and it is lovely to have them down here. It really is, especially on a nice day. So please do press that subscribe button. It's down in one of the corners under the video. If that subscribe button is grey, you are already subscribed. Please don't press it, it'll unsubscribe you and you'll stop getting notifications as to the new uploads. If it's red, please press it, and please press the bell next to it as well. That will notify you of all the new uploads to our channel. I will put a little animation somewhere to show you sort of the right way around, just in case I've got it the wrong way around. I also have my watermark in one of the corners. I believe it's on my right down here, which is a little red subscribe logo. If you're on a computer, you can just put your mouse over that and it'll bring up a little card for you to click subscribe on. It really does help me out. It's my birthday, 10th of August, guys. I originally wanted to get over 1,000. I don't think that's possible. I would really like to get over 900. I really would. We're about 60 away from it. It's a big ask for our little channel, but please, it'd be a big boost to me, especially in these times where I've been injured and down and struggling to sort of get the motivation to be down here. I don't ask for much, but if you could do that for me, that'd be great. Right, let's crack on out in the strawberry bed. I'll see you out there. Also, while I think on, actually, I finally invested in some braces. Hopefully that means you'll see a lot less of the ass crack. I know nobody's ever commented on it, I know, and I appreciate that, but you know, it's my transition into becoming an old man and an old Yorkshireman. So hopefully with any luck there'll be a lot less of well, you know, let's crack on, eh?
Okay guys, so I always start these things like that, don't I? I apologise, but what we're going to do, because as of right now, I've been unable to get the Kitchen Garden and the Grow Your Own magazines, which I know were really popular last month. I am going to get them, but they're just not available to me in shops at the moment. I know people are going to say, but you can sign up for subscriptions. Yes, you can, but that's not going to show you what you can get from the shop bought versions, because you actually get different things when you subscribe. So anyway, what are we going to talk about? Well, of course we're going to talk about your big jobs for August. August is an extremely busy month for us down on the allotment, on top of the constant weeding and watering that we all have to do at this time of year. It's time to start thinking about second crops. It's time to start thinking about, if you're not doing second crops, it's time to start thinking about shutting down beds and spaces for winter. Be that if you're a no digger, if you just mulch with cardboard, manure, compost, you know, whatever, or if you're a digger and you want to cover with plastic. You know, I'm completely unbiased. I do all of the above. I have no dig beds and I use plastic. I use the same plastic every year. For those people that are going to say, oh, don't use plastic on your plot, I've used the same plastic every year for 3 years. It's not breaking down, and it's just used until the frosts start. But that's essentially your first two jobs. Weeding, watering as one job, because that's constant. But you've also got things like spreading mulches and preparing surfaces, as I've already said, with compost, manure, cardboard, plastic, whatever you see fit. Your other jobs are ongoing. The ongoing I have actually today in the background of the girls doing the strawberries, I've done this today, and that's pulled some more onions, and they are sat curing in the polytunnel now. Your harvests at this time of year should be pretty plentiful, to be honest. You should be having, obviously, as a lot of new growers find out, you've probably got hundreds of courgettes because you've planted about 10 plants. You'll only do that once, guys, don't worry about that. But you've got your courgettes, you've got your runner beans, your French beans, they're continual harvests. While ever the plant's alive, the plant will, until it reaches as tall as it can grow, it will continue to produce new fruit up the plant. So if you notice with your French beans and your climbing beans, the fruits will start to be ready at the bottom, and gradually up the plant they will continue to be available. So there's things that you can constantly be growing. You do want to be thinking, next job, about stopping that, however, because you don't want the plant to go over. So what you can do now, or can be thinking about doing, is pinching out the tops of your climbing beans. What that will do is it will force the plant then to focus on making the fruit and ripening the fruit that is on there ready for suitable eating and picking time. Especially prevalent if you intend on leaving beans on there to be your seed for next year. You need to be thinking about sort of when the season's going to be coming to an end, how long it takes for those beans to dry out on the vines. So you need to be thinking in August about pinching out the top of your climbing beans. Same can be said for your tomatoes. Now they are prolific producers. I know a lot of people have had trouble this year, and a lot of people have had things like blossom end rot. I do have a video where we talk about blossom end rot. It is something that I'm going to cover in winter. I do a lot of videos in winter, which are hints and tips for new growers going into the following season, talking about learning from your mistakes and things like that. So please do subscribe. I do continue to produce content right the way through the growing year and right the way into winter and through winter. So please do press that subscribe button, especially you new growers out there, because I do put out a lot of content through winter for you guys for the upcoming growing season. But pinching out the tops of tomatoes will do the same for your tomatoes as it would do for your beans. It forces the plant to stop sending out lots of shoots and stop producing flowers and stop growing upwards. What it does is it forces the plant to concentrate on what's there on the plant and encourages the crop to be ready. Remember also to be constantly tying up your tomatoes, constantly giving them support. You don't want to have nurtured them this long and have them fall over. Which leads on to a couple of other jobs which in the same vein. So your peppers, your cucumbers, things like that, they all want to be tied up and supported. Otherwise, all this time that you've spent into your fruit being ready is going to be for nothing, because it will fall over and unfortunately you could lose the plant. Especially, I mean, I've seen photos on Facebook recently of people's plants falling over, and you don't necessarily lose the crop, because in the vein of tomatoes and things like that, what you can do is you can hang the plant upside down, and sometimes the fruit will ripen. So it's not a lost cause, but it is a lost cause with regards to the plant producing anything more, if that main stem snaps, if it falls over. Another job you can be doing is earthing up your brassicas, potatoes and celery. Now, a lot of you older growers are going to be out there saying, why is he saying earth up your potatoes now? The only reason being is you don't want any of those precious little tubers being on the surface of the soil, because what I do at this time of year to go along with the earthing up is I'll take the tops off when the main crop are ready. What that does is it causes the potato to set its skin. So you take the tops off and you can leave it in the ground for a week or two, or longer if you so desire. I don't, but you can. You leave it in the ground, and that way the potato will set its skin and it will cure, meaning it will store better. But what you don't want is sun getting on those potatoes, so putting an extra bit of earth up against the sides of the potato plants is not a bad idea. Don't forget, if you've not got a self-blanching celery, that's something else that wants earthing up, or at least covering, otherwise you will start to lose, or it will start to go green and get too tough, should I say. I personally have always grown a self-blanching, but it's a note that I've got here. What you can also do, it's not something that I recommend, it's not something that I do, but what you can also do is you can earth up the bottom of your brassicas. So if your brassicas have gone a bit leggy, your second sowings of brassicas, you can put some earth around the bottom to help stop those stems, because what happens if it starts blowing about, if a cabbage or not a cucumber or a cauliflower gets blown around too much, what will actually happen is it will encourage the plant to bolt, which means you're less likely to get a worthwhile harvest. Other jobs, I'm going to go through these a bit faster now. They're a bit self-explanatory. So feeding pumpkins and winter squashes, they are deceptively hungry plants, and about now they will be starting to struggle to look for nutrients. So giving them a liquid fertilizer once a week is not a bad idea. Something high in potash, like a liquid seaweed or a tomato fertilizer, is fine. As you've seen in this video, propagate your strawberries, so catching those runners. Now is the time to be thinking about pruning. It is something that I'm going to cover in its own video, so I'm not going to go over it too much, but you can summer prune your gooseberries and your currants, such as your black currants, your red currants, your white currants. You can prune your summer fruiting raspberries. It is important you know they are summer fruiting raspberries, because if you do your autumn fruiting now, you'll lose your fruit. You can tie in blackberries, so the vigorous new non-fruiting canes want to be tied back so that you know where they are, and the old canes want to be removed, but not now, they want to come out in autumn. Don't forget to support heavy laden fruit trees, pick any early apples and pears that you may have, and continue, I've had to do this again today, continue pruning your grapevines. We'll quickly run through what you can be sowing in August. You can still be sowing, I'm going to do this in more depth if the magazines are available, but you can still be sowing cauliflowers, cabbages, broccoli, kale, chicory, lettuces, some root veggies. I'm going to risk it, I'm going to put some carrots in because I never got round to putting my nanties in the polytunnel, so I'm going to get round to doing that. Kohlrabi you can still be sowing now. New strawberry plants can be planted now, so as new strawberry plants become available in garden centres, they can now be planted out. Your Japanese variety of onions, so your Senshu yellows, anything labelled as an overwintering onion, they can start to go out now if you wish. Just be mindful, if we get a particularly hot spell towards the back end of August, just be mindful to make sure they've got plenty of water. One thing I'm going to talk about in an upcoming video is green manures. It's something I'm contemplating doing this year. It depends entirely on my overwintering crops. But that's it for my notes for today, guys. That is about 10 jobs you need to be thinking about doing in August. Should keep you busy, shouldn't it? So back to the girls, back to me, and hopefully I've been able to get hold of the magazines for that. If not, you'll see that on next week's video. So for now, I'll see you in a bit. Hey guys, managed to get them. Kitchen Garden. So this is the September edition of Kitchen Garden, and the also September edition of Grow Your Own. Okay, so we're going to go through the seed packets. Not going to go through the magazine so much. We're going to talk about sort of what can be sown now. I've already done some, as you've just heard, some what you can sow now. But
obviously you guys seem to really like sort of seeing these seed packets and seeing what can be sown now. Let me just come round a little bit, not that way. That's a bit better, apart from the red Felco shears. There we go. That's a little bit better. So with Kitchen Garden, both these magazines were bought from Sainsbury's. So few people ask me why I tell you where I buy them from. Different shops sometimes have different packages on the front. Generally always the same seeds. It's just sometimes you'll find sort of Tesco's has a free pair of gloves, or Sainsbury's will have a book, or you know, that sort of thing. So we're going to look at what you can sow out of this lot now, and there is actually quite a bit, and then we're going to have a look at sort of obviously what's in both packets, or what's with both magazines, and also kind of what's a bit junk actually. I had a bit of a sneak peek at home, and some of the ones, especially on the Grow Your Own, are a bit junk, and I'll explain why when we get there. Just quickly going through the Kitchen Garden ones first. So we've got Kitchen Garden, and that is salad leaf, mustard, red frills. That can be sown all year round. It's not for us. The kids don't eat, or the kids won't eat mustard greens, so, or in that case mustard reds, but they won't eat them. This is something that I've been meaning to try actually, and which we might grow this year. What do you reckon? Chinese kale?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll try that. So that's that one. That can be sown now right the way through until the end of September. So that's going to be one that we're going to sow. So we'll put that on the sow pile. For some reason in mine, I've got two of these. I get a feeling I might be missing a packet of something. But it's cress, American land cress. Once again, that can be sown, weirdly, according to the packet, not in August, but it can be sown in September or June, July, right the way from March to June, March to July, then not in August, and then you can sow in September. I'm guessing August might be a bit warm for it. What do you reckon? Are we going to sow that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll put a packet of that. We'll probably just use it as salad greens, sort of just chop them off as you would normal. This we've already sown, but Charlotte's asked if we can sow some more, and this is a different variety of chicory, as I mentioned in the what you can sow now. This is Radicchio once again. This is Pala Rossa. That can be sown right the way through until the end of August. We are going to put some more of that in. These I am going to sow. I'm not sure if this means that they will come up next year, but I'm going to sow these in September because I was desperate for some sweet peas this year and didn't have any. So we're going to sow some sweet peas, so they're going to get sown. This came with last month's, and we didn't sow it last month, and we won't be sowing it again, and that's Claytonia, known as winter purslane, apparently, according to the back of the package. It's very good, very high in vitamin C. Apparently the flavour is actually similar to spinach, so shall we grow some?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right,
like
we'll put some of that in salad. Spinach is very popular. Then we've got mustard spinach with a spicy flavour. Not going to sow any of that, but that can be sown right the way from March to October. We've got one of my favourite cauliflowers, not the best for flavour I find, but certainly a good one to have a cauliflower available all year round, and that is cauliflower all year round. You sow them right the way from January up until May, and then you take a break through June, July and August, and they can be sown in October. So they're definitely going to be sown, so we'll actually pop them straight away in the October box. And then this one is another one that we will be sowing, and that is Spinach Medina, or yeah, you can read it for yourselves. Nice deep green leaves, it says, for a nice summer crop. Sowing succession, there's only 150 seeds in there. It's not a cut and come again, so we'll probably sow all of that very soon. You'll see that probably in next week's video. And that's Kitchen Garden. The cover of the Kitchen Garden, just very quickly, I'll run you through sort of what they've deemed suitable for cover stories. So, grow and save 25 crops to sow now and collect your own seed. Harvest blackberries from your garden. Plant It's a growing guide for onions, herbs and chicory. You've got 8 pages for thrifty cooks, so we're going to have a look at that. It looks like they've done a cauliflower curry, which actually I think you guys will probably really enjoy.
It's like chicken curry but with cauliflower, right?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, I think you guys would enjoy that.
I love curry, I love cauliflower.
You do. And that's the cover. Oh, and apparently potatoes for Christmas, handy snips on test, that would be an interesting read, and green pest control tips. So a lot of good articles it seems to be in that one this month. These extra seeds, by the way, they don't go to waste, they go in the giveaway tin, which is slowly filling up to be given away at 1,000 subscribers. This is Grow Your Own. Now these ones, I suppose it's kind of hit and miss as to whether you'd like them, but there's at least one in here that I don't really understand why they've put it in, and I'll explain why when we get there. So we've got kale, variety Scarlet. That is not to be sown past the end of July, apparently, past the end of June. You've got herb summer savoury, which is sow until May. This is the one that I don't understand why it's in there, and I shall explain why, and perhaps in the comments below you can correct me. And it's Parsnip White Gem. Now, according to the packet instructions, this is to be sown by the end of May. Now, this is the part that I think you can correct me on if I'm wrong, but parsnip seeds do not keep well. So why they're with the magazine that aren't really to be sown until next year is a bit beyond me. I definitely think, actually, I'll put this out there now, I definitely think that these, if you were to buy these magazines purely based on the seeds, I definitely think Kitchen Garden have got it this month. I think that they're a lot more relevant this month. Then you've got Celeriac Monarch, sown till the end of March in modules. You can sow in June direct outside. Herb Golden Feverfew. This you could get away with sowing now. You can sow this right the way through until the end of July. Lettuce Red Salad Bowl, also sow until the end of July. These we are going to sow, and we're going to get them in ASAP. And these are onion. These are classed, I've forgotten, it doesn't say on the back, spring onion Pompeii. Now what intrigues me about these is on the back, it's ideal for sowing thinly on in containers or in window boxes, which is what we're going to do. We're going to sow them in containers, I think, at home. No. I don't know, we'll see. But what I am doing with them is we're going to see the picture. I don't know if you can, I've just realised I've not checked the shot on any of these. See the picture here? They look like silver skin onions, don't they? And actually it says on the back, ideal for pickling as a silver skin onion. So that's what we're going to do with them. We're not growing them as a spring onion, we're growing them as a pickling onion. Tomato, Elisa Craig. This is another one that I don't really understand why it's in there for this time of year. Carrot, Paris Market. A little round carrot. You might get away with sowing that now, especially if you've got something like a polytunnel, which will extend your season long enough to hopefully get a harvest. And then you've got another radish, same as last month's, a different sort of variety. Albina, a white radish to go with the black radish that they gave you last month. We are going to sow these. Once again, I'm going to do the same as the black ones. I'm going to do them as London Worms and Gardens start to finish in module method, and apparently these can be sown direct sown right the way through until the end of August. So we've got these, that, and the onions. Some of the rest of the packets are going to go into storage for next year. I will be trying to sow the parsnips next year, but they're the keepers. Literally, out of 10 packets of seeds, they're the keepers for me from Grow Your Own magazine. The ones that we are keeping, we'll be keeping the Elisa Craigs. The lettuce salad bowl can go in the giveaway. The herb golden feverfew we will keep. Celeriac will go in the giveaway. Parsnip we will keep. Summer savoury I will sow. And Scarlet kale will go in the giveaway because I've got some kale to sow already. I've got red Russian, so they'll go in the giveaway tin. These will go over in the rack behind me. Just very quickly, I'm conscious that this is taking quite a while. This might be a separate video in the end. Very quickly, the cover of Grow Your Own states that they are covering continuous crops, so carry on growing, seed saving masterclass, things to make over the weekend, the easiest ever composting system apparently, and 40 tips RHS expert advice, beat bindweed, start sea kale and supercharge your spuds, and 11 speedy jobs to spruce up your plot in just 5 minutes. Quick picture there.
Hi guys.
Hi. Well, that's us for today. I mean really it's been them. I've just been off in the background weeding and taking down old planting frames. But didn't they do well? You know, I've just done a quick tally up and I reckon they've potted up about 40 strawberry runners at least, so they've done really well today. There's still a lot more that can be captured. I mean, I've got about 20 plants in there, and each one will send off anywhere in the region of 20 to 30 not runners. 20 to 30 runners, 4 to 8 runners really is the average. So there's loads more, and those pine berries seem to be absolute. I don't understand why they're so expensive in the shops, because those pine berries seem to send off a lot of runners, don't they?
Yeah.
So there's no real reason for them to be so expensive. So I'm going to see how I do with runners from them. What I will do is I will be selling any extras that I've got left over. So any spare strawberry plants or pineberry plants, about autumn time, I'll be selling them probably as bare root plants. I'll let you know close to the time, but bear it in mind, guys. And sort of any spares that I have, I'll sell on, and they'll be cheap, and it'll all go into the fund for the plot. So you know, it would be of big help really. But so there's a lot going on at the moment in the background with regards to the plot, to growing, to Conversation Shed, and to our partnerships. So bear with us at the moment. I'm going to go try Asda's now for the magazines, and if they've got them, they'll be on after this. So maybe I'll see you in a bit. Maybe I won't. If not,
or a paintbrush.
If I don't see you in a bit, I'll see you next week.
1 second though. Comment down below. Hashtag Rosa's toothless.
Hashtag Rosa's toothless. Hey, why not, guys? Come on. Right, so I might see you in a minute, or I might see you next week. I really don't know. I'll see you later. Are we all saying bye?
Bye. Bye, all viewers. Watch out for the paintbrush.
Don't forget to press that subscribe button, please, guys. It really does help.
Merch.
Yeah, also buy merch. It all really helps. So I'll see you in a bit, maybe.